Hi, I'm Alan,
I'm Tony DeLuz.
and we're going to be giving you a little bit synopsis of our chemo
The Oscars.
and sound bites. 3 events that we got to attend, and we're going to give you through humor,
Yes, the Bostonian in Sedona perspective.
because we know there's so many people in Sedona that are really from here. Not really.
And you're really caring to find out what a couple of knuckleheads from Boston are thinking about this whole thing, aren't you? Because we will entertain and amuse, if nothing else, if not inform.
Different things, and we're going to start right now with Kevmo. So, you knew who he was before I did, so I know you're a music aficionado.
I knew a little bit about him. I didn't really know that much.
You knew more than I did.
Well, yeah, apparently I did. You thought he was 50 Cent or something. But no, I didn't know who Kevmo was. I knew who he was, but I knew that he was one of these darlings of the critics who never quite caught on with the general public, which actually may be a blessing, because usually the general public doesn't have very good taste.
Except in Sedona.
Well, that almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
But just in case these people who are not seeing this, we know you have taste, because that's why we're here.
Well, certainly, and that's why you're on this website, because you know where the good stuff is. But Kevmo plays sort of a blues, folk, acoustic kind of a thing. He goes up there, he's on stage by himself, does a fabulous job. He had the audience in the palm of his hand, and apparently he had a few Sedonans who were very familiar with his act, and they were calling out for songs. They really enjoyed it. We heard everything from government cheese to water to the whole enchilada. I was hungry by the time the show was over.
I wasn't because of the government cheese, so we'll spend about 30 seconds talking about that song. What did you think of the government cheese?
Well, it was a nice way to start the show. It was funny, it was amusing, and he had a whole audience full of affluent white people who probably didn't know what the hell he was singing about.
And to be politically correct, I'll say Caucasian. He could say what his perspective.
We'll say African American impaired people.
We'll just do it that way. But will it be safe on that one? Really? There's someone at the door, and we're going to get rid of him because we need to finish.
It's Jehovah's Witnesses.
And to be politically correct, he means that not in a non-religious kind of a way, right?
Yes, I mean the other kind of Jehovah's Witnesses, not the ones that come to your house with the
metaphorical
Watchtower and the Awake magazine. The bad ones.
Oh, that's us. Let's move on to our next segment.
Shall we? We're done with Kevmo, huh?
Well, they're going to be watching us. We
I
want
know.
to keep them longer.
That's true. Yeah, you've heard it. You've heard enough about Kevmo. He was really good, by the way. He did a great job, and Sedona loves Kevmo.
I love Kevmo, and I know he did. So
there was a lady on the side there who really seemed to love Kevmo because she was not shut up through the whole concert. And was
she
dancing
loved
up the
him a
storm.
long time.
Oh yeah.
So now, later that evening, we went to the after party, the VIP opening party for the Sedona International Film Festival, and I'll just say, wow.
Yes, wow indeed. I wasn't expecting food, so that made it extra nice. And it was nice to see a lot of the usual suspects that are out here at everything in Sedona.
Not just me.
You know, all the good fun people that were there, you know. And it was great. It was nice to see Glenn Scarpelli and see Patrick Schweiss, of course, and Shay Condro and
Tiffany Miller, Robin Miller,
my lovely wife Dana DeLuz.
Yes, and Tony DeLuz.
Nathan Trujillo, one of my favorites. I haven't gotten to see him as a musician, but I coached his son in baseball. He works at Soundbites.
I've seen him.
Sound guy.
I've seen him.
He's a good
He's a great musician, very talented. So Soundbites encompassed both
Redland
ambience.
Yes.
Actually, Soundbites encompassed the ambience, the food, and the service.
And the food wasn't bad.
Oh,
Thank you, Steve and Michelle.
Thank you for those big,
Those
huge
ribs,
shrimps.
and the shrimp. Oh, the shrimp were awesome.
And don't forget when Steve was cooking, he
Yes.
was actually cooking right in front of there. You don't see that from restaurant owners.
I did not see that. I thought it was in freaking Benihana's there. Very nice.
Except it was more of Sambayanas.
Yes, yes. What was that band's name that played? They were really good. Oh my God, we can't remember.
It was
the name
so
of it.
good it leaves me breathless and mindless.
The band that was so good we forgot their name. They were a colorful, diverse group, and they were very entertaining. Did a great job.
I
Bass
know
player-
Ed Bertini was on drums.
Oh.
I know Jimmy Mack was also playing. And
Jimmy Mack, when are you coming back?
because if you don't, I'm going to have a heart attack. We had to go there. But I want to thank you, Soundbites.
Yes, Soundbites, you guys did an awesome job. We were able to catch up with some old friends. We got to sit down at a table and enjoy some nice dinner and conversation. And what a fabulous way to kick off the film festival. Thank you very much.
And what was great, just to seal off this segment, is Tony's wife, Dana, is a great dance instructor. And I actually got to see some of their moves up on the dance stage. So you guys need to see this link right here. That's going to take you right to a page so you can actually see a little bit more. So now we're going to move on to our next segment, the Oscars.
Was there an Oscar ceremony this year?
The Academy Awards.
Oh yes, it was a unique Oscars presentation this
And
year.
you're not a eunuch.
And yeah, no eunuchs. That would have been cool if Seth MacFarlane could carried out on eunuchs. They probably could have carried Kristen Chenoweth. She weighs like 70 pounds.
He could have done that with his finger. He's a kind of a family guy.
Seth MacFarlane I thought he was quite entertaining. He was a little off color for some people, but I'm very used to his humor, and I loved it. I really enjoyed watching him. The only thing was closing my eyes and listening to him. It was like Brian Griffin from Family Guy was hosting the show.
Well, it's better than Mama. Hi. But
Well, that was great.
And you got the ambiance, and it was just the film festival did a spectacular job of with the presentation, the interactive with the audience, with the quizzes. We had David Rashi there. Sagan Lewis, who's with the film festival, was also partaking in, and some of the screeners. It was very interactive. So even during the commercials, even though we got to watch them, we got to interact with some of the questions that Executive Director Patrick Schweiss.
They kept us adults pretty entertained, and he quoted lines from movies, and we had to sit there and keep our mouths shut while the people up in the front guessed what those lines were.
As we were whispering what the answers really were.
And of course, there'd always be some fool who'd say it too loud, and the people up in the front would hear. But it was a great Oscars show. I did want to talk a little bit about that. They did a lot of really entertaining things. The musical numbers were great.
Yes.
Chicago, Les Miserables was great, and Shirley Bassey coming out and singing Goldfinger. That was very nice. And she was 79 years old, and she could still bring it. She had some game. She did a nice job.
And he can talk about her, but I'm going to talk about Catherine Zeta-Jones. I'll just say, wow.
Well, it's a good thing I can't do Roger Rabbit eyes, or they'd be going boing.
But yeah, I can say, please.
Well, thank you for not saying swing. It was a real feast for the eyes. Halle Berry, Catherine Zeta-Jones. And a few of those
much
others.
more. And what was great about it, it was very elite. I mean, it was,
Scratching himself?
I don't, but I like to enunciate of how prestigious it was. The photo opportunities. I mean, it was just light. And I like to use my fake accent just to make it a little bit more valid.
Well, sure. It was quite prestigious, although I'm sure Seth MacFarlane kind of kept it down to earth pretty well for people.
I wonder what Billy Crystal thought of that. That's what I'd really like to find out. Just to find out.
I think Seth MacFarlane was an important turning point for the Oscars. Billy Crystal was. When they had him host the show, it all of a sudden just gained popularity. It took off. It was entertaining again. Then it kind of lagged for a little bit there. And I think Seth MacFarlane, if nothing else, he gave them a show that everybody's going to be talking about.
He went on diesel up on this.
They what now?
He kicked it up.
Oh yeah, well,
he kicked it up.
Who knew that he was so? It was a real showcase for him. I'm sure. I'm sure he'll probably get into some more movies, and with him actually not with his hand stuffed up a bear.
No, it's unbearable. But we're gonna close this off now because it's coming to that time, and we don't want you to shut this off. But this is Tony DeLuz, okay? You need to understand. Great illustrator, even better Bostonian and reviewer. I actually want to thank you so much.
A pretty good internet view. Let me start that again.
See? Pretty good.
Hey, lady. A pretty good internet host, too, perhaps.
And we're not men on film. For those of you who have already been Facebooking this right now, I am so, just because I'm bald, does not make me Antoine. Love it.